This just into sports, and a vice chairman of the Phoenix Suns has released a statement about the report saying, quote, "I've been made aware of the allegations against Robert Sarver. The conduct he is alleged to have committed has stunned and saddened me and is unacceptable. My sincere sympathy goes out to all whose lives and professions have been impacted. I am personally committed to helping eradicate any form of racism, sexism, and bias which is unacceptable anywhere in our society. I've partnered with the NBA Foundation to underscore this commitment." So that, again, the story we broke at the top of the hour with Robert Sarver, the Suns owner, was some of the conduct he has created there within the Phoenix Suns organization. As Woj said, and Windhorst said, the story is just beginning. It'll be covered throughout the day.
And once again, then the guys, the players, the coaches have to compartmentalize and focus on the job at hand. And tonight they have a game there in Phoenix against the Rockets. Developing story continues here all day on ESPN.
This just in, an investigative report about the Phoenix Suns details alleged racist and misogynistic behavior by team owner Robert Sarver. The fallout from Aaron Rodgers' positive COVID test continues. Will there be punishment? Plus, Todd McShay on Jordan Love's first start this Sunday. And OBJ asked to stay away from the Browns for a second straight day. Is it time for Cleveland to cut him? Louis Riddick on the Browns' plan, if there even is one. And we start with the breaking news. According to a report from ESPN's Baxter Holmes, Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver is accused of overseeing an organization that many employees have described as toxic and sometimes hostile. I should probably tell you, I'm Max Kellerman. This is Baxter Holmes, who interviewed more than 70 former and current Suns employees. And according to the report, Sarver used racially insensitive and lewd language repeatedly in the office and displayed conduct described as inappropriate and misogynistic. Here are the details from Baxter.
The Phoenix Suns, for the first time in 28 years, are going back to the NBA Finals.
The Phoenix Suns began this season as defending Western Conference champions. A team riding high with the veteran presence of all-time great Chris Paul, a young star in Devin Booker, a top coach in Monty Williams, and reigning Executive of the Year, James Jones. But an ESPN investigation has revealed that the Suns' success on the court has emerged alongside a sometimes toxic and hostile workplace under majority owner Robert Sarver. More than 70 current and former employees interviewed by ESPN recounted conduct by Sarver they felt was inappropriate and misogynistic, including the use of the N-word and lewd comments made during staff meetings. Former Suns head coach Earl Watson told ESPN that Sarver once used the slur after a game. "You know, why does Draymond Green get to run up the court and say N-word?" Sarver, who is white, allegedly said, repeating the N-word several times in a row. "You can't say that," Watson, who is black and Hispanic, told Sarver. "Why?" Sarver replied. "Draymond Green says N-word." "You can't expletive say that," Watson said again. Sarver denied he used the N-word through his legal team, saying this is absolutely untrue. Sarver said he talked with a Suns player who had received a technical foul during the game for using the N-word, questioning why he had received a technical when other players who say it do not. The player, through his agent, told ESPN that he does not recall speaking to Sarver that night. "I've never called anyone or any group of people the N-word, or referred to anyone or any group of people by the N-word, either verbally or in writing." Multiple Suns employees also recounted inappropriate conduct from Sarver, such as him once passing around a picture of his wife in a bikini to employees and speaking about sex with his wife. "We're passing it around like a hot potato. Like, what in the hell are we supposed to do with this? That was just, one early glimpse at the man." Sarver, through his legal team, told ESPN the moment has been twisted into something more nefarious than it was, and that he has never discussed his sex life in the office. "A retailer sent my wife and me a sample along with a brochure, and I took a picture of her in the sample. I took the brochure and picture of her and gave it to the people at the Suns in charge of overseeing merchandise with the message, here's the catalog, this is what the swimsuit looks like, and if you have any interest in carrying this line in the team shop, then here's the number to call. Multiple current and former employees also told ESPN about conduct by other members of the Suns leadership team that they felt contributed to the work environment. While none said Sarver was involved in those incidents, many felt that Sarver's own conduct contributed to a culture that affected how some other managers within the organization treated their employees. They said they don't know how no one has ever been held accountable. If the commissioner comes in and investigates to see what the expletive is going on in Phoenix, he would be appalled. Jason Rowley, president and CEO of the Suns, defended Sarver. This story is completely outrageous and false. It doesn't represent at all the Robert Sarver I've worked alongside of for 15 years. He's not a racist and he's not a sexist.
Great to have the ultimate NBA insider, pardon me, Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, what's the league reaction to this report?
Max, the NBA has had about 2 hours to digest Baxter Holmes' report. It is certainly lengthy. They're doing so now. I am told to expect that the league will formally announce an investigation of the Suns and Robert Sarver, and that I expect would commence almost immediately.
If the league investigates, as you expect, what does that consist of? Like, how do they investigate?
Well, this is an investigation, Max, that may look different and may take more time than you saw in the Donald Sterling case with the Clippers. There was an audio tape. There was a television appearance shortly after. That was a very quick process. The Atlanta Hawks with Bruce Levinson, there were emails. You know, both of those instances led to teams being sold. That's during the Adam Silver tenure. But this is, I think, an investigation that is going to take time. I think the league will have the opportunity to not just talk to people about reporting in Baxter's story, but also those who may offer new information. 17 years worth of reporting for Baxter Holmes, over 70 people he interviewed for this piece, and there certainly could be, and very likely will be, more individuals available to the NBA for them to talk to. So I think the expectation is it may be a fairly lengthy probe once the league announces it.
Thanks, Woj. I know you're always busy, but I expect you're about to get extremely busy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Max.
We now welcome in the host of NBA Today, Malika Andrews. Malika, what's your reaction today to today's report by Baxter Holmes on
Max,
Sarver?
It's deeply disturbing. There's sort of 4 quadrants, right, to this story. 1 is the misogyny. 2 is the racism. 3 is the overstepping in some cases in terms of basketball operations and coming actually into the locker room, into coaches' quarters, if you will, to berate and to break down coaches. And then 4 is the failure on the part of any checks and balances. The HR not being able to step in, not being emboldened to be able to do something when a woman alleges she was assaulted outside of the office by a coworker, and the only response being, well, we'll move your desk to a separate row. So those 4 areas really are what is sticking out to me from this story. And as we just heard Adrian Wojnarowski say, I'm also told to expect the league to look into this. It could take a bit longer because of the things that Adrian noted, but this is something that is going to play out, maybe not in 3 days, the way that Donald Sterling did, not to compare and contrast, but certainly is going to be something that we're going to see be a part of the fabric of this league for the week and potentially the months to come.
You laid it out, Malika. No matter what quadrant you look in, it ain't good. The Suns host Houston tonight. What are you expecting to see or hear from the team tonight?
Well, what's been really interesting, Max, is 13 days ago, the Suns put out a preemptive statement that was incredibly strange, sort of refuting reporting that hadn't even come out yet. And in that statement, we saw the general manager weigh in. We saw various people say that this wasn't the Robert Sarver that they have come to know over the course of their time working within the organization. One voice that we didn't see, though, is Monty Williams. And so what he says pregame is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be listening to, because he is going to to set the tone for how the team is going to respond here. Brian Windhorst reported, he has been with the team a lot, that he is talking to folks who are saying that they're really going to have to work hard to tune out this being able to come together and move forward, potentially similarly the way they did in the bubble, Brian reported, to rattle off some wins here, because this is going to be challenging. I'm interested to see what Monty Williams and Chris Paul say. This is not on them, but it's going to be interesting to see the way the team responds.
Yes, of course, we have to take current employees, particularly those without a lot of leverage, what they say with a grain of salt naturally, since their employment is, they're beholden to their boss. Thank you, Malika. Appreciate it. Make sure you watch NBA Today later this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. Coming up.